It's all about the deal at Brunswick Auto Mart. Save big this month with deals like this. Don't miss the Make This the Summer event and lease a 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Quad Cab Night Edition 4x4 with 20-inch blackout wheels for just $375 a month. Or lease a 2022 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cab for just $397 a month. Brunswick Auto Mart. Car buying made truly simple.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Believeland Prep Interview. I'm your host, Kevin Sleds. With me tonight, my special guest is the head football coach of the St. Vincent St. Fighting Irish, Mr. Terry Cistone. How you doing tonight, Terry?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Pretty good. Appreciate you hopping on with me.
Sure.
So from what I understand, your father was a coaching legend at St. V's for 34 years, won 4 state titles, actually the field named after him, which is really cool. So what did you learn from him, either by watching him coach, or I understand you assisted with him for a little bit?
Yeah, right. I coached for my dad for a couple of years and played for him, and just, I knew that's what I wanted to do, growing up and seeing him through those 34 years. And the one thing that I've learned from him is, that you to work hard and put the time in, and to be able to come back to St. Vincent St. Mary High School, where my alma mater and where my dad coached, has been a real treat for me.
So how many years have you actually been coaching?
This is my 39th year of coaching high school football.
Oh, wow. So where did you start out? Kind of take us on the journey to St. V's.
Well, when I was going to college at Akron U, I was coaching with my dad at St. Vincent St. Mary. And then when I graduated, got a job in the Akron Public Schools, and I was at Firestone High School for 4 years with Dale Fortner, who was the head coach at the time. Then I left Firestone and went with Tim Flossie at Bookville for 1 year. I was his defensive coordinator. And then I did my student teaching at Revere High School, and I got hired at Revere. So I spent 30 years at Revere High School as an assistant coach under Joe Papano, and then I took over as head coach for 10 years at Revere. And, I retired with 35 years teaching and coaching. And I always thought, I wanted to go back to St. Vincent St. Mary when I retired. And I had an opportunity to coach with Bobby Nichols, who was the head coach at St. V at the time. And I was his assistant for 2 years. Bobby left and is now the head coach at Revere. And here I am as the head coach at St. V.
Okay. So we talked about your dad, John, obviously, but are there any other coaches along the way that have influenced you and to becoming the head coach that you are now?
Sure. I mean, like I said, I mentioned Dale Fortner, who I started with at Firestone. And then my 1 year with Tim Flossie. I mean, he told me, hey, you're my defensive coordinator. And I was really an offensive guy at the time. And, I grew a lot that year with Coach Flossie. And then my years with Joe Papano at Revere, I owe him so much. He was the one that set me up for the head coaching job when he retired there at Revere. So I've been fortunate. I've been around some good coaches and good people.
Okay. So what would you say would be is the most difficult part about coaching at the high school level?
Just, staff, today you got coaches coming from all over. When I first started coaching, a lot of the coaches were in the building. That's not the case so much anymore. You got coaches coming from other schools and from, other jobs. So to handle your staff today is a challenge. But at our place at St. V, man, I am fortunate. I got an outstanding staff of guys, and I got 64 kids that come to practice every day, and they've bought in. So I've been fortunate.
So the other end of the spectrum, what would you say the best thing about coaching high school football?
Being around young kids, being around the game of football, being around the staff that I have. We get along, we have a good time. I still enjoy that. I enjoy I think I enjoy the practice. I enjoy Monday through Thursday as much as I do Friday night. I just enjoy preparation and seeing kids develop and like I said, being around the staff that I have. I still enjoy that.
Okay. So how would you describe your coaching style?
Again, it's just putting the time in. We go 7 days a week. We meet on Sundays. We meet on Saturdays. No shortcuts. That's how I was brought up, and that's how I learned, and it still works. I think we're pretty physical during our practices. Our practices are hard. They have to be for the schedule that we play. Again, it's just no shortcuts. Just getting after it.
So how do you keep your boys from getting too down after a tough loss, especially like this past Friday against Hoban?
Yeah, we just got to move on. I mean, we played well. There was a lot of positive in the Hoban game. Our kids played well and fought to the end. And you just got to move on. You just got to, now we got to concentrate on Cleveland Heights, so it doesn't get easier.
Right.
Where our schedule is pretty difficult, but I tell the kids that's why you come to St. Vincent St. Mary. You come to our school and to our program to play that schedule. So they're up for the challenge.
All right. So talking about your season, you guys are 5-2. You've had some big wins over Barberton, Warren Harding, and Ursuline. How would you assess the season so far through the first 7 games?
I like I said, I mean, our kids have worked their tails off, and they get after it. And the schedule is a grind, especially these last 5 games. Warren Harding, Ursuline on the road. Then we had to play Hoban. This week we got Cleveland Heights, and then week 10 we play Walsh. So, I don't know who put the schedule together. But, it's a grind. But we've talked about it since January in the weight room. That this is why we got to work our tail off and do the extra. Because we're in for a tough schedule. But again, that's who we are, and it's always been that way. And again, kids are expecting that.
So who are some of the standout players at St. V that people should know about?
We have a good group this year. I don't want to miss out on anybody, but we have Bryson Getz, who's a senior, 3-year starter, defensive tackle. We have DeAnthony Kelker, tailback corner, who's been a 3-year starter for us. Riley Deffelball, offensive guard, defensive tackle. Nathan Lenz was our quarterback as a sophomore, played quarterback as a junior. And this year we moved him to defensive end and just having an outstanding year. Nick Gage, our inside linebacker, 3-year starter. Terrell Hobson, wide receiver, defensive back, having a great year. Elijah Martin, our offensive tackle. We have 19 seniors, and they all play. So it's a pretty experienced group of guys.
Okay. So you mentioned you've got 2 tough games left against Cleveland Heights and Walsh. What's the mindset going into the final 2 games and then heading into the postseason?
Just concentrate on Cleveland Heights right now. They are an explosive team, big Division I school. They have the Fair kid at quarterback, a finalist, I believe, for Mr. Ohio. I told the kids today, I said, we went up against Sperling from Hoban, finalist for Mr. Ohio. Now we got to go up against the Fair kid, another finalist for Mr. Ohio. Doesn't get easier, but this would be a huge win for us, especially going into postseason. To beat a Division I school that's 8-0, they have a lot of athletes. They're very well coached, and like I said, our big thing as his coaching staff was to put that game away last week and just forget about it. It's over. Let's move on. And we've had a great week of practice this week.
All right. So obviously you're a busy guy being a head coach. So what do you like to do to kind of unwind when you're away from the football field?
I like working in the yard, to be honest with you, when I get a chance to do that. I like watching college football on Saturday and just relaxing, spending time with family when I get a chance to do that. But the season's a grind.
Yeah.
Even at the high school level.
Right.
It's a grind. It's a lot of time. And like I told you earlier, we put 7 days a week in.
All right. Well, I appreciate you hopping on and taking a few minutes of your time to talk with me, and wish you and St. Vincent St. Mary Fighting Irish the best of luck these final 2 games and into the postseason.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.